everything is positive. There's no room for any negative thought, because this is going to bring you out of this zone, and out of this this meditative state. You really have to give up control completely, sometimes to strangers that you don't really know. And that's kind of mentally crazy. And this is for me actually the craziest stuff, because it's out of your hands. Like somebody else has your life in their hands. Sometimes they want you to feel the pressure. They say, we only have this one take, and this take costs $2 million right now, because we have all this set up and the explosions and this one Cadillac old timer. When this is hit, it's hit. We don't have a second one.
Maria Mouroum, I am so honored to have you on the podcast. It's such a pleasure to meet you. How are you?
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much. I'm doing good.
That's really cool. We are here in your hometown, Berlin. We've brought along some sunshine to kind of set some vibes. For those listeners that don't know you, how would you describe your journey? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I am Marie Mouroum. I'm 33 years old, and I'm born and raised here in Berlin. I work as a stunt woman, and later switched within career, and also started with acting. Like, just when you're already on the movie set and you do so much stunts, somehow you get a job or two where they ask you to talk, and they also ask you to not just do your action, but also do a little bit of acting. So that's why I also became an actress on my journey. And I love to train. I love to work out. This has always been part of me. So that's also important to describe myself. That's about it.
So how does one become a stunt woman? To be honest, you're the first stunt woman I've ever met. So I'm genuinely curious. How do you go from Berlin, growing up, becoming a stunt woman, and then taking that to the world?
Yeah, it's actually a very, very coincidental story, because I didn't even know what the profession is of a stunt woman or stunt man. And I just grew up with martial arts. I was practicing martial arts very seriously as a child. Competitive, I was fighting full contact, but I also did shows and performance. That was kind of my thing. I was just, full of energy, and I guess whatever sport you would have put me in, I would have loved it. And in this moment, it was martial arts. And there was a movie production here in Berlin that looked for people who know how to fight. So they went to different martial arts schools and picked me as one of many kids to be first just in the background for a Hollywood movie called Ninja Assassin, just walk some forms, do some karate.
Yeah.
And then this is when I discovered the world of stunts, and I saw people on set fighting and doing all these cool things and action scenes. And then later on, I started training with these people in Berlin, and because I wanted to learn what they know, because I just thought it looked cool. I didn't think it's going to be a profession.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I got asked for my first stunt audition, and for the movie Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. And I played a witch in the movie, and that was my first stunt job. And then it just went from there.
The ass-kicking witch. Very cool. So martial arts, you started with karate.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had a world title in a sport called Pencak Silat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that similar to karate? Excuse my ignorance.
It's a little bit different, because it's more it's Indonesian or Southeast Asian martial arts, very prominent in Indonesia, and it's very beautiful, more like kung fu. Like you have a lot of forms, you have a lot of tradition.
I'm picturing pandas.
Yeah, it's really pretty actually,
Okay,
and
cool.
kind of like dancing almost.
Huh.
Yeah, but they also have a division where they do full contact fighting.
Okay.
And my trainer back then, he was a world champion in that martial art. And he knew about all the events, and he knew that there will be the junior world championships. And he was like, you're so good at fighting. I'm going to teach you how to fight in Pencak Silat, because I want you to participate in the world championships. And then he taught me, and then I went there and I won.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so you had that that early success. And I'm trying to think of myself as I learned to swim when I was 15. I grew up in South Africa, Cape Town.
Oh, nice.
And my friends took me surfing, but I didn't know how to swim. And so my mom got a little bit freaked out.
Yeah, of
which
course.
is kind of weird because she didn't mind that the water was full of sharks, but she did mind that I couldn't swim. So, so anyways, I learned to swim. But like when you're 15, that train has left the station, right? Like you're not getting to a competitive level in swimming alone. And so I wonder, you had that early success. What made you then choose to go another way? What made you choose to not pursue that career?
To be a fighter, you mean?
Yeah, to be like to go further in fighting. I'm just curious.
I think puberty hit, and I just didn't think it was cool anymore. Like fighting and being rough and being hurt all the time. There was this kind of switch that happened as a girl. Now I'm identifying, I don't know, with meeting with friends and going shopping. Like I kind of changed my perspective, and I didn't like it so much anymore, the idea of fighting. Okay. Unfortunately, if I would still like it, I would probably do MMA and be somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's kind of like, I think you actually landed pretty well on your feet. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I would love to go, we're here, obviously, this episode, Mouroum going mental. What does going mental mean for you? When you hear going mental, define what it means in your mind. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, if you just think about the saying, then it's obviously kind of like going crazy because you're so much in your head that you just start to go crazy.
Yeah.
But going mental could also be something positive for me, like something where you really are so in the zone kind of thing, like so much in your head that you're like in the zone.
Yeah.
So it could also be something like that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's why I kind of like the different layers of it. And I think, like for me personally, it probably means something different every day like when I wake up. But that's kind of the thing. But I would love to go a little bit into the mental things that goes into being a stunt woman that includes your journey. I mean, from Berlin, where we are, to the biggest sets in the world. I mean, that's not a straightforward journey, right?
No.
Like you're going to the biggest spotlights, but yet you're kind of not in it. Like you're in it, but not as you.
Yeah.
Take me into that world. Take me into the thoughts of, being that essential part. You make stuff cool.
Yeah.
The movie is cool because of you, but you don't get the credit for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really the balance on being a stunt performer. It's like you're super happy that you're just invited to just be a stunt double or be a stunt performer on a movie and get to do that on sets. And first you start slow at a lot of German productions and then a lot of US productions that came to Berlin and hired me. And this is how I got seen from the US productions. And they eventually brought me over. My first movie in the US was Black Panther. They brought me over for that movie because somehow a lot of connections were there with people who worked with me in Europe. And I was just also very lucky, but also I really wanted it so badly. And you kind of have to accept that when you're a stunt double, you put in all your work, all your ideas, all your creativity. You're also very close with the actress that you work with. Like you train her, you show her how to move, how to make it look good. So
you're training the actress?
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, there's a fight coordinator on set who's mostly like coming up with the choreography with the stunt team. And but you are the one who has to perform the choreography. So you show and teach the actress like, okay, this is how I do it. This is how I would move. This is how you should try this. This looks cool. So that's why like you really try to bring her up to the level for the action to look good. So it's a very close contact, very close working relationship. And sometimes it hurts a little bit, like in your creative heart also when you've done all this work, but you never see yourself on the screen doing it. So and other people getting the praise and the glory for it. But But that's the job. That's what I learned pretty fast. Like, you have to accept this. You cannot be sad about this, because then you would be sad all the time. You know, like, you really have to accept, this is my job right now, to make this movie look good, make this action scene look good, make this actress look good. And when it looks good, that's your compliment, you know? Yeah.
And is that something for you? I mean, you've kind of hinted at it, but is that for you? Is that like something where you have to bite your teeth a little bit? Because I mean, there are people who love operating from the background.
That's true.
You know, like my best friend, like he hates being in front of a camera.
That's true.
And we're kind of like that
and there
duo.
There are many stunt people who are exactly like that. And that's exactly the perfect job for them, because they don't even want to have any praise. They want to be in the background. They don't want to be seen. And that's perfect. For me, I'm like a hybrid version. I kind of like to be in the spotlight sometimes, but also not all the time. So it's like a mix. Mix. So sometimes I really prefer that I can go off now and I don't have to do any of this big press thing, but I still worked on the movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes I also like the camera. So that's why I found this version that I'm also performing my own characters. I'm also playing my own roles as I'm also doubling. So I do both. So I kind of, I'm good, you know.
And currently, where's your heart at? I mean, I imagine them to be quite different, because when the movie's a success and you're behind the scenes, you can kind of go with your best friend and just go to the movie and just enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Which the actress, assuming, you know, you've worked with some massive names, you know, talking Halle Berry, Queen Latifah, all these people, they can't go to the movies and enjoy their movie.
Yeah.
Yet you can go and enjoy that exact same role. Whereas if you're the actress and you're on the front screen, then you don't have that freedom. Like, where's your heart at on that?
Actually, I can't enjoy it.
Oh, really? Really? The inner critic.
Because I'm always so afraid of how the movie got cut, how the scene still looks like, because you don't know it until you actually sit in the movies and we see the finished film. You don't know how they edited it. Before. No, you don't know how it got edited. You don't know if the action is still in. I've worked on Star Wars Episode 9 for like the whole movie. And I doubled an actress called Naomi Aki. She was supposed to be the biggest action star on the movie, and they promised her the world. And we had so many action scenes. And then I went to watch the movie, and almost everything was cut out. Not just from her acting, but also from our stunts and the stunts I did. It was like almost everything was out. And then it's like, what have I done the last 6 months? I mean, you don't really have any content of that, but you've been working on for so long. So that's why I'm very nervous watching movies, because I'm just hoping it turned out good, they edited good, the action looks good. Like, I'm always just, kind of just hoping for the best.
And are you then like a team player? Are you in contact with that actress? And you're like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And like, you kind of like, you know.
Definitely, yeah. In this case, we still worked on several movies after that. So we kept talking about it. And she was also super, and for her, like you said, it must have been 10 times worse or 100 times worse watching your movie and you don't really see yourself in it. For her, and then you have all this press right after and the photo shoots and you have to laugh and look happy. Yeah. But you're actually not happy, you know? And this must be way worse.
Yeah, because it's really weird. Obviously, as an athlete, you know, we have our own fate in our own hands very much once the going starts.
Yeah.
Whereas you're depending on an opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whether and it's someone else's opinion of sometimes someone else again. Like I find that, again, I mean, the flip side of that coin is dealing with the public opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
That, I guess, I mean, do you enjoy that, or do you struggle with that at all in the experience that you've had in your own movies, where you've got the public opinion kind of as the flip side of that coin?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I was pretty lucky that I worked on movies that have been publicly seen as really good action movies, like the Marvel movies. There was like a lot of positive feedback. And I haven't really experienced much bad public opinion, so thank God. But I think this must be really hard when you put because you always put your heart and soul into a project. You don't have your life in this moment. You really put everything in there, and then when it comes out and it's not appreciated, then of course it's always hurts.
Do you find that gets better as your career progresses, that you appreciate the craft for what it is? Because essentially the outside person can say, well, you're getting paid, right? And the same way an athlete has X amount of minutes that he gets to play or not play according to the coach, but you get paid a salary. Whereas you've done your work and you for yourself, I assume, know whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
Does that make it easier at all? Or are you just like, nah, not really?
Yeah, a little bit. I think you're more at peace with yourself because, I've given my all. I really did everything. It looked good. Now, the outturn of the movie, it's not in my hands anymore, Whereas when you really don't give your all, or where you really think, oh, I could have done it better, or I wasn't really good at that, then I'm mad with myself for sure.
Yeah. Do you ever blame yourself?
All the time.
Oh, yeah?
All the time. When I feel like I didn't perform as good as I could have, then I'm always mad at myself. Always. Yeah.
That inner critic, it just doesn't let go, right? Like you can't shake it. Like, I wonder why.
Yeah. It's like, because I think you know your potential and you know what you are able and capable of doing. And if you don't reach that level for yourself, then you're just unsatisfied. Then you're just not proud of yourself, right? Yeah.
And in that ever so fluctuating world, like, where do you draw your self-confidence from?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I think it's just you have to know who you are, where you are from, and what you have achieved, like for yourself, kind of. That's what I always put in perspective for me. Because sometimes I'm reaching for the stars and then I'm happy that I'm not grabbing them. I'm not happy. I'm sad that I'm not there, But then I'm always going back and I just think about, okay, like I have to look at my journey step by step, where I'm from, what I've done, where I am now, like what I have achieved so far, like just to really bring yourself back and humble yourself a little bit. And I think this brings confidence as well.
You have that clarity though in the moment?
Not in the moment. Not in the moment. A lot of reflection, a lot of meditation, a lot of writing. I love to journal and write and just write it out, what has happened, what I've done, or what I've experienced, just to really experience it again, because sometimes things happen so fast and you don't get the chance to really, process it. And then sometimes you lose it because the next thing was there. Now you're already there. And now you're here. And then you met a new person. You forgot about an amazing person you just met 5 minutes ago. It's like life is so fast sometimes that I like to sit down and write things down just to remember myself. Yeah.
Morning or evening journaling? Or doesn't really matter?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
I'm not that organized.
Yeah, me neither. It's such a valuable thing. And I've only very recently started it. And it's kind of, I remember going to a high school reunion and like you have the people that take let's call it normal career path. And then it's like, do you remember that day when we went here and there? And I'm like, well, and it just feels like somewhere along the line, someone pushed fast forward in life.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have the same problem. I forget so much stuff. Even my mom tells me, you don't remember this and that. And I'm like, I really don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your brain has to make space for the new things that happen all the time. And that's why it's so important to sometimes sit back and think about what you've done. And, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, in your world especially, there's so much public opinion that comes in, and then there's the director's opinion, and then I'm sure there's egos working on the set and all those things that play towards the confidence aspect.
Yeah.
Whereas I always like to differentiate between self-confidence and self-belief.
Yeah.
And that rock solid belief probably stems more from what you say, that reflection Do you spend a lot of time with, do you have like a close friend or someone that helps you cement that?
Yeah, I have like a little group of my very close friends that I know since I'm a child.
Okay.
So they really know me, and it's really real and really raw. And they would tell me all the time, like what they think, honestly. So this is also what helps me a lot to not go crazy in this industry. Because like what you said, sometimes, especially because I started really young in this movie industry with 18, I feel like this was still young. And there are so many people who try to tell you you're not good enough, you're not, who bring your confidence down, who always want to bring it down.
Bring themselves up by bringing you down.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man,
and
the worst
to
kind of
work
person.
against that and to not believe this and try to, stay strong is so hard. And I think I struggled with this many years, definitely, that I really was just kind of almost like losing myself because I didn't know how to work against that,
Yeah.
But then again, I think it's very natural also in your evolution, especially as a woman. When you turn old, the older you get, the more confidence you get anyways, like with the
Hopefully,
years.
hopefully.
Yeah. Most of the time it's like this. When I talk to women, they're like, oh, I'm so much more confident than in my 20s or something. It just happens naturally also. So, yeah. And then you kind of grow above that.
Do you think you have to go through some of those like painful experiences to actually grow?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very important. Unfortunately, we have to make those experiences and we have to fall sometimes really, really
well,
deep.
you literally.
Yeah, I'm literally falling. But you really have to go through really hard times sometimes to get out strong. I truly believe in that. And even though I don't like this, like nobody, but it is true. And that's what I also try to think about all the time when it's not a good phase or when something's not going smooth or you really have to fight through something, then I always try to think, okay, but there will be a really nice outcome from this. There will be a really big growth from this. I try to just already think about the future in this moment.
Any moment you're willing to share where that you had a real growth phase? Like any moment, was it, I don't know, it's an injury or something that stands out where you kind of went through the motions?
Oh, so many. I have so many, but just recently, this year actually, I just finished my production in New York, a TV show that I was filming, and I tore my ACL. And I still had a next job here in Germany for a dance show. And I did, this was like a TV show. And I was like, first of all, I didn't know that my ACL is torn right away because I didn't go to the doctor in the US. I just thought my knee would be fine.
Sometimes you just don't want to know. I close my eyes, I can't see.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Oh, I can already walk. Oh, it's going to be fine. It's swollen left. Like, when you just talk to yourself that
totally.
it's not
and
that bad.
You know you're bullshitting yourself. There is no way this is fine.
Yeah, but but as soon as you don't know for real, you live happily in your head. So yeah, and then I did this whole TV show and I knew this is so hard mentally and physically.
The second TV show?
Yeah, I did the whole TV show in Germany, the dance show with the torn ACL.
A dance show on a torn ACL?
Yeah. And
flat shoes?
No, the high heels, the dancing shoes. And I knew this is one of these moments where you really come out stronger because it's not just physically extremely hard to do because you really have to activate your muscles in your leg so much. Like you really have to anticipate every movement. You can't just be, everything has to be super activated and tense and cautious. And then also mentally, I was super sad, that I can't do the moves I would have liked to do.
Okay.
I can't do the stuff that I would love. Like I can't be me right now, but I still want to finish this job. And this was a lot of low moments there, even though it's a nice experience. And I knew when I finish this, everything after that's going to be a little bit easier again because can't get this low again.
Yeah, because this is also the moment you are shining as you.
Yeah.
Like you're on a TV show, you're presenting yourself as Marie, not as someone else.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I know from experience, like working under pain, under physical pain, it catches your capacity.
Yeah.
It's always in your subconscious. And then you're also more tense.
Yeah.
Whereas in a dancing show, it's already like that mixture of tension and being relaxed. And
you can't be super relaxed. And again, like I was hired as Mouroum, the stunt woman. Of course, they wanted to see some moves. And I was thinking, what can I do where I don't injure my knee more? And then I was thinking about flying side kicks where I'm jumping off with the left and landing with the left again, so I don't really use like the right, like it's stuff like this. I did a lot of moves and kicks and jumps and whatever where I don't land on the broken knee, and stuff like this. But it's just still it was still super risky, super, super risky.
But at this stage, you knew it was broken.
At some point I knew, yeah.
Okay, so you were willing to take the risk.
Yeah, I was willing to take the risk, yeah.
Talk to me about your relationship to risk. Like you must have... Like,
so risky.
Like, I mean, I'm like avoiding injury at all costs. Like a blister is like, oh my God, I'll miss training. And here you are talking about performing on an ACL, which, like you said, you land wrong on heels.
Yeah. Like
that's tickets for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think I have a way too good relationship with risk. I'm too risky. But I don't know. Somehow I have this inner voice in me that says, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. Like sometimes I also like the thrill of the risk, like to see
for sure.
What if it does work out, Then it would be amazing. So I'm a little bit like curious to see a lot of things. That's why I'm also a stunt woman. I've done so many things that are very risky, especially when I was younger. It was way more risky than I am now. But I've done things where I just said, okay, I hope it works out. Let's go.
Is that something that, is it a thrill that you seek? Or is it something that you've built up over the years where like people do hard shit. And I'm like, every time I do something hard, I'm like, I can do something hard.
Exactly.
I can do something harder.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder where you get from risks to standing on the roof of a fifth floor and throwing yourself off. Like, is that just a natural progression or is it just youthful ignorance and you just kept getting lucky in inverted commas that everything?
I think it's like the more you achieve something risky, the more you prove to yourself, okay, it's possible. I can do it. I can. What else can I do? And then you get kind of addicted to the feeling of it too, of the feeling afterwards that you really have done that and it worked out and it was amazing. And, like the glory of it as well, like that you have this footage or people seeing you doing this or it's on the movie, like it's all that comes with it. Okay. But no, but I've never done something where, of course, there were some things where I said, I cannot do this. This is not, I'm not capable of doing this. You should get a professional who's really specified in this. Yeah, but there's some, in the stunt world, there's some people who have really specified for high falls, let's say that.
Okay.
So I do high falls, but up to a certain degree. If it's like crazy high fall, then
Fifth story of a building.
Yeah, I've done that.
There you go.
But if it's like, there are crazier things. And then I say, obviously, no, you have to get somebody who's really only doing that, who's super good in that. And I've turned down many jobs where I didn't feel comfortable with, many, many jobs. So it's not just blindly crazy because it's just the jobs where I'm thinking, I think I can actually do that, Then, yeah.
And then, does it have to be more the next time? Are you like, okay, today I'm on the 5th. Next time I have to be on the 6th to get that same thrill?
Not at all. With high falls, I'm not a fan. Yeah. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I do it and I'm proud of myself after I've done it.
Yeah.
But I stand there and I'm just thinking, oh my God, I hope this goes out well.
So then I have to ask, like, what in your mind is the craziest stunt you've done?
I've done so many stunts, but I think in my mind, it's actually something completely different. The craziest for me are the wire stunts, where you are on the wire and you get pulled like into a wall or across a building or somewhere,
As you do. As you do.
for many movies. And this is for me actually the craziest stuff because it's out of your hands. Like somebody else has your life in their hands, in their ropes. They have a machine, sometimes a ratchet, where they put on the speed and the power, and then this machine just pulls you. And you just have to believe that the setup is right, the wire is good, everything is done well. And because this is where a lot of accidents happen. And this is actually for me the craziest stunts all the time because you really have to give up control completely, sometimes to strangers that you don't really know. And yeah, that's kind of mentally crazy.
So how do you hand over control? Because physically it's one thing to prepare yourself, getting yourself mentally ready in the zone. But in that moment, excuse my ignorance, but it seems like you're a passenger.
Yeah, you are. Actually, you really are a passenger. But you can educate yourself. Like I did educate myself. I did rigging classes where I just learned asked a lot of questions. How does the wire have to look like? How does the pulley system work with the weight? And then just checking out the equipment of the riggers and seeing if this is all legit, if they really know what they're doing. And this is the way you can feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more, satisfied. But at the end of the day, you still have to go. And I think in that moment, you really just have to say, it's going to be all right. Like I don't have negative thoughts in that moment. I'm just thinking everything is going to turn out good. It's going to be fine. Because you can't, you're going to drive yourself crazy if you have negative thoughts.
Yeah, I think it would be the cause of some serious anxiety. I mean, is there like a code between kind of the stunt crew as such? Because I mean, you're essentially meeting strangers and then I assume you have some time to get to know each other, to check it all out. But essentially you're testing a prototype.
Yeah.
Like every single time. Like I've tested a few prototype bikes and I'm like, that didn't go well for all that long. And that's not throwing myself against the wall intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah, and the training before you actually go to set, you have to test the wire gig many times before you actually film it, right? And the riggers, they also have to figure out first how much speed and how to build the system. And you're in the wire and then just
with
crashing
you.
it. Yeah, sometimes you're already in it. Like they have a big sandbag that has approximately your weight that they first train with. But at some point you have to go into a wire and test and see if you can do it. And it goes wrong a few times and you're just thinking, no, that's not it. This wasn't it, And then you just try to figure out the right, the right system there. Until you actually go to set. And then on set, it's normally the easiest part because you do a few takes of it, sometimes just one take, because you trained so much for it to be that perfect. Yeah.
So mentally, take me into that moment. You're standing there, the scene is about to go, and just you're standing there, and I'm assuming you're kind of this mixture of being like self-protection, tense.
Yeah.
But mentally, do you see the perfect movement that you have to do? Do you try and visualize what's coming?
Yeah.
Or do you try and avoid all the 1,000,001 things that could go wrong?
No, right on set, right before I go, I'm in a deep, deep meditative state, very meditative. I'm really very calm, super, super calm. And I think about the motion and I think about how my body is doing it and I'm visualizing exactly my motions. And I know in this moment exactly what to do. And I know that I can do it because I visualized it so well. And I only, like I said, I only think positive. I'm thinking it's going to be good. We're going to go there. Then I do this. I'm going to jump here. Everything is positive. There's no room for any negative thought because this is going to bring you out of this zone, and out of this meditative state. And I'm so hyper focused that after a stunt is done, just my adrenaline level just completely crashed because I'm super focused and right before I go. And yeah.
How do you get there? Because, all right, if I'm aiming for the Olympics, I know that on the 19th of August at 10 a.m. in LA on that beach. I've got 2 hours to perform or whatever XYZ. You're on set for weeks, months, guessing.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing call times change all the time. How do you get yourself on call into that zone?
That's what I try to figure out myself too. Because movie sets are crazy. You get there sometimes at 6 a.m, and then you go to hair and makeup, and then your costume changes, and then on set, and then you sit around for hours, and you don't know when your scene happens because the whole shooting schedule changed. And then all of a sudden, let's say it's 7 p.m, they're like, okay, Marie, you're up. Your stunt is up. Let's go. We got to go now, but we don't have much time. We got to get it done now, fast. And you're just like out of the cold, sitting there. You've had your little coffee or something.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I have this thing where I really talk to myself. I say, okay, Marie, you have to be okay, now it's time. You really have to be super concentrated. Let's get in the zone. Let's get there. Like, it's kind of like a mental coaching with myself, where I also don't really talk to people anymore.
Okay.
It's kind of like only me in this moment. And where I already start to feel my whole body, like activate all my body, like my joints, feel every muscle in my body to know it's all
like step by step.
Step by step, to know it's all functioning and active and strong. And then mentally build myself up by talking to myself, I would say. Yeah. And then when I'm there and they say this 3, 2, 1, action, then this gives me even more focus. Like it's the opposite. Like some people freak out in this moment, but for me, this is more like now even more. Like I get even more. Yeah.
So I mean that makes perfect, like the countdown kind of. I think you've probably heard it that many times now that that's kind of the goal. Do you have a mantra?
Not that I know of, but I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have. But I think I'm not really aware in the moment. Like it's almost like I said, like a meditative state. I am not really there right now. It's like I'm in a completely different zone. The way I think and I talk, it's completely different to how I am in my normal life. Because in my normal life, I'm very unorganized, and I'm sometimes saying like, I wanted to do this, or I forgot that. Like I'm not really so concentrated, but in that moment, it's crazy. It's completely different from myself.
Yeah, it's so unique how everybody has their kind of process to get into it.
Yeah.
Talking of the process, when you prepare and you get yourself ready, let's go into the process. Like what does your daily process look like? I mean, do you train daily? How do you prepare? How do you physically get yourself in shape for one of these?
Well, I actually train almost daily. Like I had a phase where I trained more, then I had a phase where I trained less, but and I love training. It's just so much part of my life that I go to the gym, I do cardio training like running, martial arts training still. I try to train with a lot of different people, a lot of different martial arts to always learn new things and also always keep the basics. And stretching, yoga, like you name it. I do so many different sports just to also to have a variety of skills, because that's also very important for the movie, for stunts. Like sometimes they're like, oh, can you do this really quick? And then, it's good when you know.
Really quick, yeah.
Sometimes they throw you in the cold water.
Yeah, or against the wall. I prefer the cold water, actually, in your case, to be quite honest.
True.
Okay, so then you're preparing, you're going to gym, you're going to the ring, you're fighting, doing all these things. And it's like, I imagine I'm getting ready for a race. And then on race day, everything is kind of set and optimized for me. You get thrown a costume, something else that disguises you in a sense, but that also isn't really made for your performance. Like I'm sure, shoes, dresses, all these outfits that look great on a set. But I'm not sure how much they help you with a flying kick through a car window.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like, how do you deal with that? Do
Yeah.
you use that in your training?
Yeah, you have to get used to that because it's really true, especially as the women's costumes sometimes are even worse. And you have sometimes high heels on, super tight clothes, sometimes short clothes, so you can't really put on pads because you would see the pads. And then you have a wig that is super tight and hurts. And sometimes you don't even see anything because they put all the hair in your face to disguise you. And it's like, the costume can be so uncomfortable. And then to perform with this when you're already like so restricted is a whole new skill set by itself, I would say. But I'm surprised somehow it always works out. Like in the moment you think this is impossible. How am I supposed to do this? It's not going to work. But somehow our body can always just do a little bit more than we think. Like when you're really there and you have to do it, it's just somehow you can do it actually, even though you thought it's not possible. Yeah.
When you can just surprise yourself in a weird way, when just things and years of training come together, right?
Exactly. And you also want to be the person who's able to do it because you're booked on set as the stunt performer, the person who knows how to do it. The set is full of people, you know, everybody's watching your performance. Everybody wants to see it. And it's also a little bit of pressure and you don't want to,
I was going to say.
Yeah, you don't want to embarrass yourself either. That's why you really give it your all the time. And you really, and like I said, movie is forever. Like this is a mantra I have in my head sometimes. Movie and films is forever. Like sometimes this is not erased. You can watch this 50 years later sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you really did it well, you're going to be so happy for this to be out there in the world, you know?
I want to get into pressure. Talk to me about pressure. I mean, we just spoke to, months long build-ups. You're preparing. You've got everything going. I mean, this is not your neighborhood film club. I mean, these are like $100 million first day kind of productions.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel the pressure?
Sometimes they want you to feel the pressure. They say we only have this one take, and this take costs $2 million right now because we have all this set up and explosions and this one Cadillac old timer. When this is hit, it's hit. We don't have a second one, and they tell you like all this pressure that this one take has to work now at the first try. But I try not to get this to me because this is only negative energy. I feel like to put this type of pressure, like this financially, this is the biggest movie in the world and it's the most expensive scene. Like, I try not to think about this because it's like, even if it was not the biggest movie, I still want to do just as good, like I still want to, for myself, do it right. And not just because it's expensive, I just want to get it right.
Yeah.
And, so I try to block that and ignore that, even though people really try to pressure you with stuff like that.
I get the feeling you put enough pressure on yourself.
Exactly. That's already enough. That's the pressure I can handle. All the extra stuff, like sometimes I'm like, okay, no. Yeah,
it's funny how people try to hype you up and build you up, and you're like, I think I got this.
Yeah. They really tell you this one take. It has. I remember we did on James Bond, the last James Bond, No Time to Die. There was this one scene it took forever to set up, and all these like visual effects and special effects were there. And this car had to drive into a scaffolding. The scaffolding had to collapse, and it was like such an intrigue scene. Like the setup was so intriguing, and I think I had to kick somebody over the railing or something like that. And
does that feel good?
And I knew we only have one take and we have no more time and all of this. But I don't know. I just thought in this moment, it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. Like, I don't know. I just try to calm it down. People almost get mad when I'm like this, when I'm too chill, because they think, why are you so chill? Why are you so relaxed? But I'm thinking I have to be because everybody else is freaking out. Like I cannot be the one freaking out as well. Somebody has to bring it down again, So
where does that come from? Like where do you think you got that chilled vibe? Because I mean, exactly like you say, there's I don't know how many people on a set like this, but I'm imagining it's 100 plus. And everybody's kind of freaking out. And you're like Zen because you have to be.
Yeah.
But where do you think it comes from?
I think it really originates a little bit from the martial arts as well, from my martial arts training, because martial arts always goes a lot with meditation and you concentrate, you think about, you visualize your movements before and after class. You have this type of meditation session where you also think about what you just learned, what you did, how you can use these moves and stuff. And to stay calm and chill, like this is a very martial arts spirit. If you meet like real fighters and stuff, you will see they're always the chillest, calmest people. Yeah. And in the cage they go crazy, but like outside they're very zen because you kind of like have to be like to balance this out, You
have to channel the anger, right?
Yeah, channel the anger and also channel the aggression that you then have to put in that moment. And so I think it originates from martial arts training.
Yeah, again, please don't get me wrong, I don't want to compare, but I've taken one boxing class with an actual boxer, and it wasn't like the fit box, like a proper box. And there's just nothing to it. There's just, you can just see there is so much art and so much refinement. I think it's probably a very grounding kind of base.
Yeah. And very respectful training where you respect your opponent, you respect your teacher, you're glad for the training sessions and for connecting and stuff. It's a very nice sport, I would say.
Other than that, you kick your head.
Yeah, when you fight, But then after that, it's all really respectful again. And
I like that a lot. Talk to me about respect, because that I can see on a set, you've had the chance to work with some great actresses. You've mentioned you've befriended some of them and perhaps even found mentorship. Have you ever had the opposite? So that you've had to double someone that you don't particularly get along with? Let's just keep it neutral.
Of course, yes. Yeah, I did.
How do you risk your ass for someone you don't like?
Yeah, sometimes it's like... then you really just have to see it as a job. That's just the job that you got hired for here. It doesn't really matter who this person is. You still do your best. Obviously, it would be nice if you guys would get along, but sometimes there's so much, also a lot of actors, like every person in the world, have insecurities, also have, like don't know if they can do it. They don't know if they are good enough, And sometimes they let it out on you, as a stunt double. And then I said in some type of interview, sometimes I said I sometimes feel like almost like a therapist as well. Sometimes,
sure.
To build somebody up and be like,
because if you're training them and prepping them,
exactly, to really mentally also prepare them, and really talk the confidence. You wouldn't believe how many big actors or big roles, like they play big roles in movies and they don't believe in themselves sometimes, And then when you watch the movies, you would never think that because that's why they're great actors.
Well, that's also why they take 15 takes, probably.
And then it's also your job to sometimes to build somebody up. In that way,
Which I can sort of see, as an athlete, you have big races, you have small races, but there's so much more at risk for you because the risk doesn't really change.
Yeah.
In fact, if I think of a Marvel production, US, massive budget, there's probably a lot more security and safety and kind of like health insurance, whatever. I don't even want to know, actually. Your insurance broker, he must be, he must have a hard job. But it probably is more dangerous in that sense on a smaller production. And then
could be,
you kind of don't have that personal relationship. It just comes with the job.
The job is just not as fun. Like it's not a fun job if you don't have a good team to work with, right? If you don't have a good stunt team, and also if the actors don't, it's just not as fun. Like when we did Black Panther, we were all this big family and we loved each other and we had such a good time. It was really sad on the last day of filming. We were all crying because we grow together, so much. But then there were some movies that I was counting the minutes to get out of there. And I was on the movie for months. And I was really counting the minutes for this project to be over because it was so horrible. The work relationship, that was just horrible,
Yeah.
And then it's very hard to push through and try to be your best and try to give it your all. Then it's really hard. But then again, like I said, then I solely try to see it professional. I'm hired here as that, and I'm going to do that as good as I can,
Yeah. But still, I imagine those moments to be quite lonely, right? You're on
super
set.
lonely. This is super lonely. Like you are living in hotels, you're living in different countries all the time.
Yeah.
Traveling from one set to the next to the next. It's a very lonely business as well because it's like a new team all the time, and you now this is your stunt coordinator. Now this is the fight coordinator, and strange people you've never worked with sometimes. Now I have to be the closest people for you all the time, and it can be lonely, yeah, for sure.
Does that give you like a really good gut instinct to like trust somebody? Because again, every time I feel, I keep coming back to this trust thing that you are putting yourself on the line to trust a stranger, to have thought this out well. I guess you can see it beforehand and make your own judgment call, which is easier now, I'm assuming, that you have the experience.
Yeah, now it's easier than in the beginning.
But is that a gut process, or is there like a systematic approach where you're like, I can do this, this, and this? Or you look at it and you're like, no, well, this guy gives me, I'm assuming it's mainly guys who.
Yeah. I think this also got better with the more confident and the older I got in this movie world, the more I had the guts also to say, no, this is not how we're going to do it. We have to change this. This is not how it's going to work, or this is not how I can do it. And let's work together. Let's change it. In the beginning, when you're new in this world, you just want to please everybody and make everything right and just accept everything. And even though you don't trust somebody, it's just, and then you just go through it, which is a horrible feeling. But now I'm talking out loud what I think all the time. If I don't feel like something is not, people hate it sometimes, but I have to do it, because
it's being liked versus being respected, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't mind if you don't like that in that moment, but I need to do this in order to perform this as professional as I can, So now I always point out things if they don't feel right all the time.
I mean, in the end, good luck to the person who says, no, you're doing this. I mean, with your skill set, I'd be quite worried to stand in your way.
Exactly, right? So it's not gonna
very
happen.
cool, very cool. Marie, thanks so much for taking me into your world and the listeners along.
Yes.
I do have one last question for you. When is the last time you went mental?
I have to think. It's been very relaxed lately.
That's totally fine. Anything that comes to mind. There are no rules here. It can be anything, however you define it. Your first thought that comes to mind that you're willing to share.
Actually, very not related to our topic. We just moved apartments, and this made me go mental.
It's also my moving house at the moment, and that definitely makes you go mental.
This really makes you go mental.
Yeah. Oh, it's when all the patience is out the window.
Yeah, it's true.
Marie, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. It was fun.